here, and today we have a very special review on Joker 2 Electric Boogaloo. I meant Folio Duel, aka Madness for Two. I don't know why they decided on a French name. Now I know what you must be thinking. How did I go see this movie when this movie's only in theaters? I have the ticket right here. Exactly. Now, let's get down to business to release the hunt. So Joker 2 Electric Boogaloo, and yes, I'm calling it Electric Boogaloo from this point forward, is a movie where it's the Joker and Harley Quinn. This movie is disappointing. Very, very disappointing. To the point where I feel like this was a fever dream. In fact, this movie was a dream by Joaquin. Why did that rhyme? Don't tell me. This movie was a dream produced, I guess, from Joaquin's mind of it being a musical. Yes, you heard me correctly. A fucking musical. Oh God, why? If you want the more behind the scenes, resident behind the scenes person Noah Kitty over here, aka the NK, will go into detail while I'm sitting right here.
This movie started development not long after the first movie.
Which we love, by the way.
Yeah, the first movie is absolutely amazing.
It is great. A1. Mwah.
But what happened is, one day, Joaquin Phoenix had a fucking dream about this movie being a musical.
I wonder how that dream worked. I wonder what he did after he had the dream. Did he just go, guys, I have the perfect idea. It came to me in a dream.
They even toyed with the idea of putting it in like on actual Broadway stage instead of making it into a movie, which I honestly think it would have been better as a Broadway musical. At least then the music would actually make sense for the story.
They have multiple music numbers.
Yeah, multiple music numbers. And we're not just talking about just like one or two songs scattered throughout the movie. No, we're talking like close to like 5 or 10 songs in this movie. And almost none of them, basically none of them, have any story significance whatsoever. In fact, as soon as the songs end, the movie ends up going back to where it was before the song started. Just no significance whatsoever. They don't do anything for the story. That's not to say the songs are bad. I actually like the songs in the movie.
I like the orchestral shit, but that's just
like the background music is awesome as always because it's the same composers from the first movie who made the background music. But the spoken the singing songs, I'm not saying they're bad. I actually like them out of context. But in context, they do absolutely nothing.
Except for maybe like a couple of the songs, but we won't talk about that.
Yeah. And I also like to notice that this movie is not as violent as the first movie either.
They have fictional violence.
Yeah. The only time Joker kills someone in this movie is in a vision where, shocker, he's singing. He's killing multiple people in a courthouse. He slams someone's head against the desk, shoots someone, and then kills the judge with his gavel. But other than that, Joker doesn't kill anyone in this movie.
Which I don't know why it got the rated R unless there was a bunch of fuck and shit.
Yeah. Besides language, I don't see much reason for this to be rated R. I mean, there's a sex scene, but it's heavily censored. It's something you would see in a PG-13 movie.
Man, Joker gets off quick in that sex scene, too.
There were other stuff behind the scenes that pretty much guaranteed this movie is going to fail. Another thing. The current boss of DC Studios, James Gunn, he had zero involvement in this film whatsoever.
So all you Snyderverse fucks can't blame him for this one.
But it gets worse, because even though he wasn't involved in the actual production of the movie, he did give notes to the film's director, Todd Phillips, on some like recommendations that he could do. But
Which clearly he didn't do.
Todd Phillips did not use any of the notes that James Gunn gave him. So I don't know what he did with it. Maybe he used it as toilet paper for his ass or something like that. But he didn't use it for anything. Yeah, but he didn't use them for shit.
Well, shit paper, but we won't talk about that.
There was also this thing where, in the first movie, they originally had an ending where Joker was supposed to carve a smile into his face, kind of
Which would have been cool.
kind of like Heath Ledger's Joker. But Christopher Nolan told Todd Phillips, "No, you can't do that because Heath Ledger's Joker is supposed to do that." So they changed it to just painting a smile on with his blood. But
They lied in wait.
yeah, since Nolan left Warner Brothers to work with Universal on Oppenheimer, Warner Brothers was like, you know what? Fuck him. We're gonna do this anyway.
Lied and wait. They were like, we got you. Wait till you leave.
And it's even worse here because, at least in the first movie, that would actually make sense. But in this movie, it's literally some random psychopath that kills Joker at the end. So, what good payoff there?
He literally goes, and then just goes, and oh, by the way, it's obstructed. So you don't even see
Yeah,
it's
heavily,
a waste of time.
It's heavily blurred. It's heavily blurred. You can barely fucking see it. It's like the only time you actually get to see him like actually carving a smile into his face is when the camera's already panning away from him to look at Arthur when he's on the ground dying. Another thing I should mention. I'm the reason we don't like this movie. It's not because of like the acting. It's not because of Lady Gaga either.
Lady Gaga was hot in this movie. Just saying.
Lady Gaga was actually a pretty good actor in this movie. All things considered,
if she got to act,
yeah, if she even got to act. Most of the time you see her on screen, she's either singing in the background doing nothing or singing. There is a lot of songs in this movie. They either revolve around Joker,
Harley Quinn, or both.
It is fucking ridiculous.
I will say Joaquin Phoenix has a vocal range on him, though.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen videos where he's singing where he sounds nearly identical to Johnny Cash, so I know he can sing. It's not the performance. The performances are just fine. It's just that the songs mean nothing. And speaking of meaning nothing, let's talk about the story. This is my biggest problem with the movie, besides the music.
Should we go into it?
Would you like to do the honors?
What are the main problems with the story? Well, for starters, because we're dealing with it. Her name shall not be mentioned, but you know who we're talking about.
Sneaky clown snatch.
They pull her by making Harley Quinn the one that manipulates the Joker, not the other way around, which I don't have a problem with. Most people do for some fucking reason. I don't know why, you fucking imbeciles, but I don't have a problem with it. In fact, girl power. Another thing, they raped the Joker. Which is a sentence that I don't think that I think would ever come out of my mouth to this day. But
because that's necessary, right?
They don't show it.
It's implied. They don't actually show it. It's like they never outright confirm it happened, but they heavily imply it.
The guards at Arkham are pieces of shit.
That rape we said was implied was because the Joker talked shit about them in court. So
the Joker saying, "Uh-oh, I'm in trouble."
By the way, most of this movie takes place in court. Just be forewarned.
If you like Law and Order, you'll like this movie because of the court.
But then again, I'm a fan of Law and Order, and I didn't like this movie.
I like SVU, and I didn't like this movie. Yeah, what would I give the rating of this movie? Now that we're done talking about the bits and pieces of the story that we're allowed to talk about before Warner Brothers decides to shit down our fucking throat. Somewhere on the scale, wherever the confuckle meter is going to go in this video, I'm going to put it in the middle. It is not fuck NATO. Definitely not. I've seen worse.
It's kind of fucked.
It's kind of fucked. It's not fuck NATO. Trust me. There's a special person that we saved the fuck NATO scale for. Derek Savage.
Is it the worst movie we've ever seen? No. It's not even the worst sequel we've ever seen. Halloween Resurrection, anybody?
I didn't like H2O, but...
H2O was good. Fuck you. Anyway... Halloween Resurrection. Holy fuck. But anyway, my point is, Joker Folie à Deux is not even the worst sequel we've ever
Actually, you're right. H2O wasn't a bad movie. Fuck Resurrection. What the fuck? What's the point of Resurrection?
Who fucking knows? But look, Joker Folie à Deux is not the worst movie I've ever seen. It's not even the worst sequel I've ever seen. But it is the most disappointing sequel I've ever seen. There was no need for this movie to exist. The first movie was perfect as is. It didn't need a sequel. However, if it were to get a sequel, we do have some things that we would put in the movie to make it better. If they were going to make a sequel at all, it would be much better if the movie actually started in the courthouse and Joker was busted out by Harley Quinn, and maybe focused on joking Harley,
Joking.
Joker,
The Juggler.
Joker and Harley going on a crime spree, and maybe the movie ends with them going back into Arkham and teasing the fact that they're going to be breaking out again, showing how he's always going to break out no matter what.
And you know what didn't require songs? Our plot. Notice how there's no songs in our plot.
And notice, it's not like we can't have songs in this plot. You can add songs in there as long as they fit with the fucking story. I mean, it's not rocket science.
Again, this is not the worst sequel that we've ever seen. Hell, this isn't even the worst movie that I've ever seen. Derek Savage, anybody? But it definitely isn't the worst of 2024. That goes to Borderlands.
Yeah,
the Borderlands is so bad, we haven't even seen it. That should tell you something.
We're probably gonna end up watching it at some point just to see how bad it really is. Because I've heard nothing but good things. Nothing but bad things about it.
You almost said good things about it.
Shut up. We've heard nothing but bad things about it.
If Borderlands is as bad as we think it is, expect a video on that.
But we have seen worse. We've seen a hell of a lot worse.
Derek Savage, anybody?
We've seen Derek Savage, Neil Breen, Tommy Wiseau.
Hey, listen, I gotta review The Room eventually.
Yeah?
Oh, God. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hello, Mark.
But there's definitely worse. But in terms of, like, living up to the original movie, this is probably the most disappointing.
This movie shouldn't have not gotten a sequel. That's all I'm going to say on the matter.
If there's one word that perfectly describes this movie, it's pointless. This movie is pointless. It did not need to be made.
2 words: disappointing and pointless.
Yeah, it was like the movie didn't need to be made. The only reason why this movie ended up getting made in the first place is because the first movie made $1 billion at the box office. So they were like, "Oh shit, we can't leave that alone. We need to go on this." But it didn't work, and this movie's bombing because of it. The movie has like a $200 million budget. It hasn't even made half of that yet.
It needs to make $500 million. It's not making that. This movie ain't it, Chief. Joker 2 Electric Boogaloo. This ain't it, Chief. That's the tagline of this review. Well, that's going to be today's review. Hopefully this gets edited and put out today. Hopefully, but holding no breaths. Hopefully this gets put out soon. About the AI music, more songs are going to get posted out soon. And yeah, but as always, be good people. We love you. And anything else you'd like to say?
Get fucked.